So, we are going to. The goal today is to get through the first three slides, and then do the last three slides on Friday. Okay. So, Miss Housley is going to take over for the first slide, and then we're going to look at the basics of what are called the 14 points and the terms of the Treaty of Versailles after that. But this is just kind of an opening look at, what we have looked at as far as World War I is concerned, and what we need to look at moving forward. So I'm going to shut up because I've done enough talking.
You're fine. Oh, mute that back there.
Is that too big?
All right. No, that's good.
All right.
All right. So, guys, we're going to look at this cartoon first thing. This is titled "The Crime of the Ages." Who did it? Okay. So, if you notice this first question in the text box, it says, "What is the woman in the background foreshadowing?" So, notice the large hand pointing at the woman down with the dagger in her chest, and it says the peace of Europe. So if you think about all that, what do you think it is trying to show us?
What's the beep say? Alex says
it's hard to hear with the echo.
Hard to hear with the echo. Stop echoing.
I can't help it.
You're not echoing on my side.
Are y'all in the same room?
No. Do you have the TV on?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes, I have the TV on.
With the meat on the TV?
Oh, yeah.
Well, mute the TV.
The sound's coming through the TV.
Oh, jeez. I don't know what to say. All right, I'll try to not talk as loud, and maybe that'll cut down on the echo.
I mean, I can take it off.
Read, Mr. Sparrow has to mute his mic.
Okay. Mute your mic, Mr. Sparrow. For just a second.
I did.
Okay, I don't know what to say now. Because it's doing it again. There we go. All right. So I'm going to start over talking about it. This cartoon is titled Crime of the Ages, Who Did It? So the first question here on the right says, what is the woman in the background foreshadowing? And like I said, you see this large hand is pointing at a woman laying down with a dagger in her chest. And the banner says the peace of Europe. So what do we think that this image of the woman with the dagger in her chest is trying to tell us? What is it trying to show us is going to happen? This is where you all, students, chime in. So
there's going to be like a war or something. I don't know.
Okay. So notice the banner again. It says the peace of Europe. And it's like not a piece of, pie. The peace, like peace, brother. Peace. The peace of Europe. And she's laying there with a dagger in her chest. What do you think that says about the peace of Europe?
Like that woman is what? Is she
death.
A, alive, or B, dead?
Alex says death.
Oh, that's very dark.
Yes.
Okay, so like we're talking about death, but what's the death of what? Okay, so I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but Z just said the death of peace.
Good job, Z. Don't you laugh at me.
So what is the woman in the background foreshadowing? I think we can go with that.
Okay.
Death of peace where?
In Europe.
In Europe.
Man, that was the most difficult thing we did all day.
No, Lord in heaven.
Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus.
All right. I'm going to mute myself again.
All right. So now we're going to keep looking at that same cartoon. But the next question, there's a box underneath the cartoon that says, describe why the countries are pointing at each other. So look at the cartoon. We have Germany pointing at Russia, and England pointing at Germany, and Belgium pointing at Germany, and France pointing at Germany, and Austria pointing at Serbia. Serbia's pointing at Austria, and Italy's just kind of chilling over there. Like, whatever. So, why do you think they have all the different people representing countries pointing at each other? They are blaming each other. Oh, hold on. Let me pull it back up. Alex says they are each blaming one another for all of the problems for the war. Very nice, Alex. Mr. Sparrow, would you like to chime in? You have to unmute.
And he's glitching again.
So, Z and I were just sitting there talking, and it's kind of like you've got everybody pointing. How many of you got brother and sisters at home? How many times have your mom and dad be like, who did that? Oh, she did it. He did it. They did it. Okay? So why do you point fingers? Why are they pointing fingers? All right, so Alex says they were blaming one another for all the problems for the war. So that's a pretty good analysis, and probably one we can put in here. So I'm going to, Alex, I'm actually going to take yours and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into the text box. How about that? Whoa, and that's really little.
Tiny.
That's what she said. Never mind. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I forgot. Sorry.
Pause.
Oh, man. I need some sleep badly.
Mm.
I cannot believe I just said that out loud. Can you all see the small text?
You couldn't have said that in your head.
What?
We can see the tiny.
You can see it?
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of cold. I don't know. We're probably gonna have to use another recording than this one.
Probably.
Ooh, it's warm in here.
Oh, God, no, I can't do that.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm still.
All right. Oh, wow. So what do you got so far?
One another from right there.
All right. They were blaming one another for all. There you go.
And you guys should be filling this out as we're doing it. Okay. Please.
Okay.
Okay.
Heidi ho.
Okay, Mr. Hat. Oh, we need what's something wrong today.
I don't know. I'm half silly. You
Okay.
got it? All right. So that takes care of this slide, but this is just a reminder to everybody about the fact that what is happening in Europe, that there's a lot of different things that are happening to create the conflict in World War One. So we are going to move to slide 3. And there is a video. We're not going to watch the video, but if you wanted to watch it, the link is there. But it's a History Channel video that is going to look at Wilson's, what are called 14 points. Okay? So basically, we're going to talk through these questions, and we're going to make this as simple as possible. So Woodrow Wilson is president of the United States at the end of World War One. And Woodrow Wilson is trying to figure out his ideas about how do we create peace. So the first question is, what was the 14 points speech? Well, the 14-point speech, it created 14 points for peace, or excuse me, for world peace. And that's about as simple as I can make it. He had 14 points. Like, this is point 1, this is point 2, this is point 3, this is point 4. And Woodrow Wilson basically says these are the things that need to be done in order for peace to be accomplished after World War One. Woodrow Wilson, within this speech, he says that the United States needed to win the war for democracy. When we come back from winter break, Christmas break, holidays, whatever you want to call it, we will look at communism is going to become a very common theme during the 1920s, and then moving into World War II and into the Cold War in the 1950s. And Russia pulls out of World War I because of the Russian Revolution in 1917, which led to Russia becoming the Soviet Union, and being led with Vladimir Lenin and a communist regime. But President Wilson said that the war needed to be won for democracy. And number 3, it says, what did the idealistic 14 points do? Well, we kind of already stated this, but they are supposed to create world peace. So let me ask you something. Did it create world peace? Was there a World War II? Yeah, there was. If you didn't know there was World War II, there was. What was yesterday, speaking of World War II?
Wasn't it
Pearl
like
Harbor.
Pearl Harbor?
There you go. It's Pearl Harbor Day. December 7th, 1941 was the attack on Pearl Harbor. We didn't have you yesterday, so I didn't get to bring that up. But that's something that we'll be looking at coming up after or in 2021.
I didn't know Pearl Harbor was after my birthday. That's scary.
All right. So based on the trends that we've looked at in answering these questions, is that what were all these points based on? Well, all of these points are centered around the fact to, again, and this is redundant, and I get that, but we need to understand the point that all of these points idealistically realistically, they were all based on the fact to create world peace. And really, like, if we were answering these questions and we had more time, we would be putting more specifics in here. But the 14 points are all based on the simple fact of we are going to create world peace. We need to create a situation where a war like this will not happen again. But the history of the world is, I mean, even in biblical times, you have wars. So it's humans are just, we're never going to get along. Let's just put it that way. All right. So what is the final point? The final point is what was known as the League of Nations. All right. And this was a peacekeeping organization. I guess peacekeeping is one word, like I thought it was. This was an early attempt of what we now call the UN, or the United Nations. And finally, when you're looking at like how much of these points were reflected in the actual peace treaty itself, and we'll talk more about what that peace treaty was, but there was very little of Wilson's vision reflected in the Treaty of Versailles. And what we are getting ready to take a look at lastly is going to be proof of that. The other countries that are involved, and something that is not in here that needs to be pointed out, there are 4 countries that come to this peace treaty to decide the fate of the world after World War I. 4, okay? United States, Great Britain, Italy, and France. 4, that's it. No Germany, no Russia, nobody else. That's it, okay? So the 3 European countries, Great Britain, France, and Italy, are pissed at Germany, and they want to punish them for what they believe in helping create World War I. So what we just looked at is what Woodrow Wilson is bringing with him to this peace treaty, all right, these ideas. His big idea is the League of Nations, and that's about the only thing that was involved in the actual treaty, okay? So, what time do we get out of here? Is it 10:10? We got 9 minutes, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got time to do this. Now, these are the actual terms that we need to be familiar with, okay? And there's 4 of them, all right? So we're going to look at the term of the treaty, and then what the potential problems are. And all of these potential problems are going to be connected in some way, form, or fashion. All right? But keep in mind, this treaty was created by 4 countries. 4. And you think about all the countries that are involved in World War I in Europe, and if you go back to like this cartoon here, All right. So just in this picture alone, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 countries represented in this picture, but there's only 4 that come to the peace treaty or the peace conference. Now, these are the terms that come out of this. First one is what is known as a war guilt clause. Somebody just pop the top again. Pop a top again. All right, so Germany was forced to accept blame for starting World War I. Now, let's just open this up to you. Like, what could be a potential problem that Germany is forced to accept the fact that they started World War I and nobody else? So what could be a problem there? How do you think that would affect Germany? We're asking.
Targeting them.
What?
People who target them.
All right, so people could target them. How would Germany react to this?
All right, you and your cousins all got in a big brawl out, in the backyard at Thanksgiving, but all your cousins blame you for it. How would you feel? Alex says they'd be very mad.
Yeah. All right. So, Germany is mad.
They feel targeted. Like
Yeah.
Z said.
Oh my gosh. Could feel targeted. Okay. Now, the second term of the treaty that is important for us to know, Germany was required to pay what are known as reparations or war payments for the total cost of World War I. So in 1918, they were required to pay $33 billion. All right. So do you think Germany had $33 billion to pay the Allies? No. Okay. They don't have that kind of money. So now Germany would have to go into what? Because they have to borrow the money. Debt. Okay. So potential problems. Germany goes into debt because they have to borrow money.
And thank you, Alex, for participating. NZ, but I can't see you.
Okay. It creates poverty. The ending of World War I is going to start a domino effect in looking at a world economic crisis, which eventually is going to hit the United States with the Great Depression. But it takes a while to get there. All right. So for time's sake, we're going to fill out these other two real quick. But the League of Nations created to resolve international disputes. Support system of world nations to prevent future wars. So we talked about what the League of Nations was. This is like a place where all of these countries that join it are going to sit in a room, and their leaders are going to try to talk things out without starting a war. Okay? But here's the problem. It could result in pulling countries into war again. So a lot of people looked at this as a way that, yeah, it can prevent war. But guess what? If you do go to war and you are part of the League of Nations, it's almost like you have made a pact to support those that are a part of the League of Nations. Okay, so it's almost like the UN. Like, I don't know how much you all keep up with things, but like the UN, like if you watch, like the UN forces were sent in. Well, the UN forces include a lot of different countries that are working together. It's not just the United States military or the French military. It's a bunch of different nations that are working together diplomatically and in war. So that's a possible problem there. And then finally, the German military was reduced and colonies confiscated. So Germany was only allowed to have 100,000 people in their military, period. And everything that they had taken through imperialism was confiscated from them. Okay? So all of their resources were taken from them. So again, Germany is embarrassed. Okay? Now, all four of these things that we just looked at are critically important because all four of them, well, 3 out of the 4, all deal specifically with Germany. All right? Taking guilt for the war, paying reparations, $33 billion, putting them in debt, creating poverty in Germany. And then the German military is reduced to the point to where they would not be a threat. All right? So I just want to foreshadow something for you real quick. There is a man that fought in World War I for Germany. He fought for Germany, and he is going to come to power in the early 1930s. And all of these things that happened in World War I are a big slap in the face. And a man by the name of Adolf Hitler is coming up the ladder. And because of how Germany is treated, some of the things that are going to happen moving into World War II are a direct result of how Germany is treated at the end of World War I. So I just want to keep that in mind and put that in your head. Okay. On Friday, we will finish looking at the last 3 slides, which there's not as much to those. Most of that we will look at the cartoon that is there. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't.
All right, so this recording is going to be put in Google Classroom. Whether I use this one or not, I don't know. But there will be a recording in Google Classroom. So you have no excuses to not have this filled out. And then the other half we will look at on Friday. Ms. Housley, Coach Mason, anything before we go?
Just please use the time you have tomorrow to work. I know it's you don't have a chicken day except for Cardinal Crew, but use it. Don't waste this day. Okay. Keep up. Try to get everything caught up with our help or without before Christmas break. Let us know if you need anything. That's it.
Do they come in person tomorrow?
Huh?
Do they come in person tomorrow?
I still could. What did he say? I could.
Do they come in person tomorrow?
No.
No. No.
Okay.
All right. 6th period. Deuces.
Bye.
Have a good day,
You
Z.
too. Later, you all.
Bye, Z.
I gotta stop recording. I cannot believe I said that.
I can't.